Welcome into Buckets, Action Network's NBA betting podcast. We're in the workshop. Thursday NBA slate. I am your host, Sean Little, kicking it with my guy, as always. I guess I missed last week, but typically my guy, JD, Joe Delera. What's up, Pitt? How you doing?
Dude, we're doing okay. I mean, it's gonna be nice to have the All-Star break. I think everybody needs it a little bit. Um, us guys included. So
No question.
but
No
it should be
question.
fun.
Nice little
I'm looking forward to 3-point contest.
yeah, nice little week off. We definitely earned it. The NBA has been a grind thus far, no question. But we do have a few Thursday NBA games on the slate. We mentioned it last night on Buckets. Me, Matt Moore, J Money is money. Be weary of the pre All Star game tilts. A lot of different things can happen. I got the Memphis Grizzlies last night at the best number possible. I got -7, ends up closing at 11, 11 and a half. They end up blowing a massive lead and they win the game by 6 points. It's just how it goes. As I say that, let's give out a couple picks. JD, what are you looking at for the Thursday All-Star Game Eve NBA slate?
So I want to call it a lean right now, but I'm probably gonna lock it in. I'm just gonna take the Clippers on the money line. They're dogs right now. You can get them around like plus 120 or so against the Phoenix Suns. I'll get into it in a bit, but that's my lean. I'm just gonna wait and see what the injury report looks like closer to tip.
I'm going to do the exact same thing. I am leaning under 229 and a half in Bulls Bucks. Follow us on the Action Network app. I am at Chicago Flow, Sean Little. He's at Joe Delera. Follow us on Twitter as well. We'll make them official. Under 229 and a half in Bulls Bucks. Delera, talk to me about your play.
So part of this honestly has to do with the fact that the Suns just like we have Booker, they have Chris Paul, they have Aiden. So we know what they have those three. But when they traded Bridges, I think that really impacts their defense significantly. And one of the things that it impacts the most, in my opinion, is their ability to switch, their ability to play cohesive team defense. And this Clippers team with they added Plumlee, which I think is important for their ability to kind of try some different things at the center position. But the big issue here is that the Clippers, they can switch everything. They have wings on wings on wings on wings on wings. And the reason that I'm weary about this is that we're heading into the All-Star break. I'm not sure if they're going, and Ty Lewis said they're going to limit Kawhi, they're going to limit Paul George. He hasn't really limited them much, but we've seen their minutes come down maybe like a minute or two. But I think what the Clippers can do offensively, in particular, will really, really stress the Suns from what they can do from a defensive standpoint. And that's why I like the Clippers. And I think at this point, with the way the spread is kind of flip flop back and forth over this one, +1, +2 or so, I just think that you take the Clippers on the money line and grab that plus money here.
Yeah, big question mark is Kawhi. If he's going to play, then I'm with you. He is all the way back, playing
Yeah.
extremely good basketball, looks efficient, doesn't miss a few days and get out of shape. He stays
Dude's
in
a
shape.
machine.
He's not like Luka Doncic. We can get to that another time. But yeah, he is a machine. He is shooting the ball well since he's come back as well and has been going full tilt, playing those 35, 36 minutes a night. I call him the boogeyman. That's my nickname for Kawhi Leonard. I call him the boogeyman. He is just a scary machine animal
Dude,
when he gets out there.
he's an assassin. I mean, he gets the bucket whenever he wants to, and he can just make some of the craziest plays both on offense and defense. So I just think it's like in this spot, even if he doesn't play, maybe if we see this line swell to like Clippers +4 or something like that, maybe then I'll look to grab the points because I still think that what the Clippers can do offensively, we're probably gonna see some Powell, we'll see some Paul George, we'll see some Bones Highland now, maybe. So where they have just so many options offensively that I think that they can put a lot of stress on Phoenix just because Chris Paul, he's getting old, got those tired legs heading into the All-Star break. He's not an All-Star this year. Like he is ready to go home. Like
Yeah,
I
get some
think that
rest.
that's like a getaway spot for him. And honestly, like for this entire Suns team, it's a little bit interesting because like the only guy going to the All-Star game is Kevin Durant, and he's not playing. So all these guys, we typically see in an All-Star spot, they're going home. Like I think they're actually gonna be excited to go home for once because Booker, normally an All-Star, Chris Paul, normally an All-Star, Ayton, even like he's not necessarily an All-Star, but he's always like, he's pretty good. He's in the conversation. These guys are getting a real opportunity at a getaway game. And I think that that's significant, especially with a team that's gone through a lot of roster turmoil right now. So that's really why I lean the Clippers here from a situational spot as well.
Yeah, and overall, the Clippers have shot the three really well, sixth in the NBA in 3-point percentage, and also 20-12 to the over on the road this year, the Clippers. So they get buckets when they go on the road. They'll be in Phoenix tomorrow, or as you're listening to this, tonight on Thursday. All right, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. They're just an absolute disaster in a lot of different ways. I just did the NBA bet stream for Action Network with DraftKings, and we had Bulls Pacers. It was a vintage Bulls meltdown. They came out, scored 40 plus points in the first quarter, were cruising, and then came out slow in the second quarter, but played all right, and then completely melted and got folded in the second half by the Spurs. And Halliburton had like 16-7. It wasn't like Halliburton was going crazy. No. So they are in really bad shape right now. So I'm looking at under 229.5 in this Milwaukee Bucks game. This is going to be the second game of a back-to-back for the Chicago Bulls. Milwaukee is going to lose here eventually. Because they've been playing sensational. What are they at? 12 straight wins?
Yeah, I think they're at 11 now. Yeah,
11 or 12 straight wins. They're going for 12 against the Bulls tonight. I would be worried about them not closing out to get to the All-Star break if it was someone competitive. This is a game they should take care of business and take care of business, no problem. Now, the thing is here, too, for as bad as the Bulls have been playing, and they've been playing really bad, they're still net 7 on the defensive side of the ball. Fair. They're still a good defensive team, and they show it in spurts, and it played really well on that side of the ball. Now, on the flip side, the offense, now that DeMar DeRozan is out, that's the issue.
Yeah, especially I feel like the team, there's a lot of chemistry things going on with them right now. Like, what's good? Like that, you like the Bulls. Like, what's good with LaVine?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a lot of rumblings coming out that him and Billy Donovan don't get along, and the rest of the players are on Billy Donovan's side. But Billy Donovan's not a very good coach. He makes no adjustments. He hasn't been doing anything for the Bulls. So it's just a lot of bad mojo over there. And, oh, by the way, the roster's not very good.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of Billy Donovan, but that roster stinks. It's not deep at all. They're the worst second quarter team in the NBA. You want to know why they're one of the worst second quarter teams in the NBA? Because the bench is nonsense. It's Derrick Jones Jr. It's Goran Dragic.
That's it. Barely. Because those guys aren't even playing right now. They're hurt.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're out. But for the season and why their numbers have been so bad, it's Andre Drummond. What are we talking about? So these guys aren't going to be able to get it done in the new age NBA, and they haven't been. So the reason I'm looking at under 229 here, 229.5, is because the Bulls are going to have a hard time scoring. They don't have enough bodies and enough baskets that can get it done. Ayo Dosunmu came out and scored, I think, 8 or 9 points in the first quarter tonight. He ended up with 15 or 16. But that's not his game.
He's not a bucket.
He's not a bucket. Zach LaVine went over 40 PRA, and they still lost. So this is a situation where I don't see them scoring a lot, and it's the second night of a back-to-back. I would wait to see who plays, what the injury report looks like, how that shakes. I would also wait to see some team totals. I could see Milwaukee scoring 125 on the Bulls, no problem.
Yeah.
I would wait to take a look at that. But overall, I see the Bulls having a really hard time scoring. And Milwaukee tries to close out and get into the All-Star break here with a W, continue that win streak, and then come out in that next 20, 21, 22 games plus try to win the title.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, the Bulls, they put up what, 113 on the Pacers right now, and that's like a super, super fast-paced game. Like I think you're spot on with this. Honestly, their team total, I think, could probably only go down. Like realistically, like guys are gonna sit. Like who knows, because they're dealing with so many injuries. Who knows what they really want to do here heading into the break.
In 28 games on the road, the Milwaukee Bucks are 8-20 to the under. The Bulls are 11-17 at home to the under, and 2-8 in their last 10 to the under.
Wow.
So the trends point that way. If Drew Holiday feels like playing defense, like he did in overtime,
40,
like he did in overtime against Boston the other night too. So it'll depend on a few factors on who plays, but the Bulls on a back-to-back are going to have a hard time scoring. I see them scoring 100, 105 points in this game.
Yeah, I'm here with you, and I think that it's one of those spots too. Like these guys aren't going home. Like Drew's not going home. Giannis isn't going home. Like they're going to the All-Star game. You know, I think they're going to be locked in, ready to play. So I think you're right. I like the spot. I like this under.
Yeah. Let's talk about the last game on the slate, just because there's only 3. We talked about 2. Let's talk about the third. Minnesota Timberwolves are playing the Washington Wizards at home. Anthony Edwards has been going absolutely ballistic right now. The line sits at Timberwolves -3. Total sits at 235.5. Money line on the Timberwolves is -158 over at our guys FanDuel Sports Book. Any thoughts on this game? Any thoughts on Anthony Edwards? Over the last 10, both teams are 6-4 against the spread. Pretty even home and away as well, right around that 500 mark. Any thoughts? Minnesota is 12-6 against the spread as a favorite. So they've been struggling there when they're looking to cover, when people are looking for them to cover a number. Any thoughts on this matchup?
Dude, you know what? Like a little bit actually. I like Mike Conley. It looks like his assist line set at 6.5. I like him in this offense because he doesn't need the ball. Like he's not like a D'Lo who wants to get his own bucket. This 6.5, he's gone over in 8 of his last 10 games actually. And he's got that little lob threat with Rudy Gobert. He's got the ability to dish to Ant, and Ant just can really feast now. Like he can really be the one, like the true 1A on this offense, saying like, give me the ball. I'm the scorer. There's no question about it. And Conley will defer to him. Like that's something he's going to do. So I know that we're heading into the break. But look, I think Conley's going to want to get into his role with his new team. Like this is not a spot where I think they're going to pull off minutes, because they kind of need to start like getting some reps together. And I think that Conley's going to get to play some. He's going to get to play. He's recorded, like I said, over 6.5 assists in 8 of his last 10 games. And in his 2 games against the Wizards this season, albeit with a different team, he's got a 10 spot and a 6 spot. So I like this situation in particular where he's going to be looked at as a true facilitator.
Yeah, Minnesota pushing for that 6th seed. They're right there. They're about a game out, half a game out of the 6th seed behind Dallas and the New Orleans Pelicans, who have had a rough stretch as of late. But like we said, Anthony Edwards has been doing his thing. There's certain teams that are trending in the right direction, and those are the squads that you want to try to back here going into the All-Star game. They have a little bit more motivation to close the first half on a high note rather than some of these other guys. So
yeah.
To recap, I'm leaning. I haven't locked it in. I want to see a team total. I want to see the roster, but I lean under 229.5 in Bulls Bucks. What are you doing?
I'm looking at the Clippers on the money line. I'm just gonna wait. I want to make sure that there's at least some of these guys playing. But I like
it's
the
always
Clippers.
The key.
Yeah. So I like the Clippers on the money line, and I like the Mike Conley over 6.5 assists look against the Washington Wizards.
Clippers money line, Conley over 6.5 assists. I'm on under 229.5 in Bucks Bulls. Wait till some more information comes out in a couple of those spots. It is the All-Star game. It is on the way. And that's it for Buckets of this Thursday NBA slate. For your host, or for my guy, Joe Delera, I am your host, Sean Little. Until next time, keep getting buckets, baby.